Welcome to LinesToGo installation videos. Today we will be removing and installing brake lines on a 2007 Silverado Classic using LinesToGo part number BLC-110-SS. While this particular installation is being performed on a 2007 Silverado Classic, this set of lines will also fit the following year, make, and models as shown on your screen now. LinesToGo lines are made using original equipment end forms and fittings that are CNC bent for an easy and precise installation. We have also upgraded to stainless steel braided Teflon hoses for rust protection and to prevent surface fouling. These have an unlimited shelf life and anti-static PTFE liner. This set of LinesToGo lines are made using 304L stainless steel for rust resistance that exceeds OEM standards. Tech tip: disconnect the battery before working on a vehicle to reduce the risk of shorting out the battery on tools or lines. LinesToGo lines are made with a sectional design for easier installation. We also use color-coded unions on our sectioned lines. Just match the colors at the connections. Make sure to depressurize the fuel system before starting the installation. Tools required: 5/16 of an inch, 8mm, 10mm, and 14mm wrenches, 7mm, 10mm, 15mm, and 22mm sockets and ratchet, flat blade and Phillips screwdrivers, cutting pliers, drain pan, jack and jack stands. The level of difficulty for this installation is considered to be easy. Start by disconnecting the negative battery terminal using a 5/16 of an inch wrench. Next, use a 14mm wrench to remove both threaded fittings from the master cylinder. Raise and support the vehicle and remove all four wheels using a 22mm socket. Use a Phillips screwdriver to remove the screws that secure both front mud flaps and remove them from the vehicle. Use a flat blade screwdriver to remove the plastic push clips that secure both front inner fenders and remove them from the vehicle. Use a 14mm wrench to remove the threaded fittings from both front flex hoses. If the fittings are seized to the lines, you can cut the lines using a pair of cutting pliers. Use a 15mm socket to remove the plastic lower cover from the front of the vehicle. Remove the right front line from the plastic clips across the front crossmember and use a pair of cutting pliers to cut the line at the front of the driver's side frame rail. Remove the passenger side section of the right front brake line from the vehicle. Next, remove the lines from the plastic clips inside of the left front wheel well and cut the brake lines using a pair of cutting pliers close to the firewall. Remove all of the brake lines located in front of the firewall from the vehicle. Next, underneath the vehicle, use a 14mm wrench to remove the 5 threaded fittings located at the ABS module. Remove the 4 remaining forward brake lines from the vehicle. Next, we will need to remove the fuel tank to remove the rear feed line. Use a 7mm socket to remove the 3 screws that secure the fuel filler neck into position. Use a 10mm socket or wrench to remove the bolt that secures the ground to the frame. At the front of the fuel tank, disconnect the fuel supply and vent lines by depressing the 2 tabs and lifting up on the locking clip to disconnect the quick connect fittings. At the rear of the fuel tank, remove the vent valve from the plastic clip attached to the tank. Use a flat blade screwdriver to open the plastic clip located beside the vent valve that secures the wiring. Remove the two quick connect hose connections at the rear of the charcoal canister by depressing the two tabs to disconnect them. Support the fuel tank and use a 15mm socket to remove both fuel tank straps. Start to lower the fuel tank, making sure to route the fuel filler neck over the frame rail. Once the tank is low enough to be able to access the sending unit, disconnect the two electrical connectors. Continue to lower the fuel tank and remove it from underneath the vehicle. Above the rear axle, use a 14mm wrench to remove the threaded fitting from the top of the rear flex hose. Remove the rear feed line from the plastic clips along the frame. Cut the rear feed line at the center using a pair of cutting pliers and remove both sections from the vehicle. To begin the installation of your new LinesToGo stainless steel brake lines, start by installing the rear section of the rear feed line labeled 05B into position, and start the rear threaded fitting into the top of the rear flex hose by hand. Next, install the front section of the LinesToGo rear brake line labeled 05A into position, and start the front threaded fitting into the top outboard port in the ABS module. Connect the two sections of line at the threaded union noting the LinesToGo color-coded connection, and tighten the connection using two 14mm wrenches. Tighten the fittings in the rear flex hose and the ABS module using a 14mm wrench. Next, install the rear section of the LinesToGo right front brake line labeled 04A into position. Start the rear threaded fitting into the top center port on the ABS module. Install the forward section of the right front LinesToGo brake line labeled 04B into position. Secure the line into the plastic clips along the frame. Start the threaded fitting into the right front flex hose by hand. Connect the two sections of line at the threaded union noting the LinesToGo color-coded connection and tighten using two 14mm wrenches. Tighten the fitting in the right front flex hose and the ABS module using a 14mm wrench. Next, install the left front LinesToGo brake line labeled 03 into position. Start the front threaded fitting into the left front flex hose. Start the rear threaded fitting into the top inboard port in the ABS module and tighten the fittings in the ABS module and the left front flex hose using a 14mm wrench. Next, install the LinesToGo secondary brake line labeled 02 into position. Start the rear threaded fitting into the bottom outboard port in the ABS module. Start the front threaded fitting into the front port in the master cylinder and tighten both fittings using a 14mm wrench. Next, install the LinesToGo primary brake line labeled 01 into position. Start the rear threaded fitting into the ABS module. Start the front threaded fitting into the rear port in the master cylinder and tighten both fittings using a 14mm wrench. Replace both front inner fenders back into position and secure them using the plastic push clips removed earlier. Replace both front mud flaps using a Phillips screwdriver. Replace the plastic lower cover and secure it using a 15mm socket. Use a 10mm and an 8mm wrench to bleed all four wheels, making sure to keep the master cylinder reservoir topped up with fluid. Replace the fuel tank back underneath the vehicle and start to raise it into position. Once the tank is high enough, connect the two electrical connectors at the sending unit. Continue to raise the tank into position, making sure to route the fuel filler neck over the frame. Replace both fuel tank straps and secure them using a 15mm socket. Remove the support from underneath the fuel tank. Use a 10mm socket or wrench to replace the ground strap at the frame. Use a 7mm socket to secure the fuel filler neck into position. Replace the two hoses at the rear of the charcoal canister, making sure they are fully seated. Secure the vent valve onto the plastic clip at the rear of the fuel tank. Connect the fuel feed and vent line quick connections at the front of the fuel tank. Reconnect the negative battery terminal using a 5/16 inch wrench. This concludes the installation of stainless steel brake lines on a 2007 Silverado Classic using LinesToGo part number BLC-110-SS. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or would like to purchase the lines you saw today, please call us at 1-855-781-5992. Email us at info@linestogo.com or check out our website link below. And don't forget to take advantage of our free 2-day shipping. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button below, and we will see you on our next video.